I'm so glad you're here with us today. We're diving deep into A Course in Miracles, and if you're just joining our community, you might be wondering what this course is all about. I'd love to invite you to check out the very first video on this channel, where I break down exactly what A Course in Miracles is, how it came to exist, and why it's been transforming lives for over 5 decades. It'll give you the perfect foundation for everything we explore together here. Now let me ask you something that might surprise you. Did you know that right now, in this very moment, you are teaching? Not metaphorically, not symbolically. You are literally teaching, whether you realize it or not. Every word you speak, every action you take, every thought you think is teaching something to someone, including yourself. You are always a teacher. The only question is, what are you teaching? Think about it. When you responded with anger to that driver who cut you off this morning, you were teaching. When you chose patience with your child, your colleague, your partner, you were teaching. When you judged that person on social media, you were teaching. When you offered kindness to a stranger, you were teaching. You cannot not teach. It's impossible. Your very existence is a constant demonstration of what you believe is true. But here's what most people never realize. Teaching and healing are the same thing. They're not two separate activities. They're not even two sides of the same coin. They are one unified function. When you teach truth, you heal. When you teach love, you heal. When you teach peace, you heal. And here's the really beautiful part. You heal yourself in the exact same moment you heal another. This is what makes today's exploration so incredibly powerful and so immediately practical. We're looking at Section 5 of Chapter 5 in A Course in Miracles, Teaching and Healing. And brother, this section is going to revolutionize how you see every single interaction you have for the rest of your life. Most of us walk through life completely unconscious of what we're teaching. We think teaching is something that happens in classrooms, something reserved for people with degrees and credentials. We think healing is something done by doctors and therapists, something that requires special training and professional knowledge. But the Course is telling us something radically different. You are already teaching every moment, and what you teach either heals or reinforces illness, both in yourself and in everyone you encounter. The ego has been teaching through you for years, maybe your entire life. It's been teaching separation, fear, attack, defense, guilt, and judgment. And every time you teach these things, you reinforce them in your own mind. You make them more real for yourself. The ego's teaching keeps you sick, keeps you trapped, keeps you believing you're small, limited, vulnerable, and alone. But there's another teacher available to you right now who wants to teach through you instead. The Holy Spirit is waiting to use you as His instrument to teach healing instead of sickness, love instead of fear, truth instead of illusion. And when you allow Him to teach through you, something miraculous happens. Everyone you encounter becomes healed, and you are healed right along with them. This isn't some lofty spiritual ideal that only applies to saints and mystics. This is practical, daily, moment-by-moment reality. Every conversation is a teaching opportunity. Every conflict is a chance to teach peace. Every moment of fear is an invitation to teach love instead. And the beautiful thing is, you don't have to figure out how to do this on your own. You just have to be willing to let the Holy Spirit teach through you. Today, we're going to explore what it really means to teach, how teaching and healing are inseparable, and how you can become a conscious teacher of truth instead of an unconscious teacher of illusion. We're going to discover why you can only teach what you believe, and why that means your teaching is always showing you what you still need to learn. This is going to change everything about how you see your purpose, your relationships, and your daily life. Because once you understand that you're always teaching, you become responsible for what you're demonstrating. And once you understand that teaching heals, you realize that every moment is an opportunity to be healed and to heal. So open your heart, brother. Let's discover together what it means to become a true teacher of God. Let me tell you something that's going to shift your entire perspective on life. You have never stopped teaching since the moment you woke up this morning. Actually, you've never stopped teaching since the day you were born. Every single breath you take, every decision you make, every interaction you have is a lesson you're delivering to the world and to yourself. Right now, you might be thinking, wait, I'm not a teacher. I don't stand in front of a classroom. I don't have students. But that's exactly the illusion the Course is here to shatter. You are always teaching, brother. Always. The question isn't whether you're teaching. The question is, what are you teaching? And who is doing the teaching through you? Here's the fundamental principle that changes everything. Teaching and learning are the same. You cannot separate them. When you teach something, you are simultaneously learning it, reinforcing it, making it more real in your own mind. Think about that for a moment. Every time you teach fear, you learn fear. Every time you teach attack, you learn that attack is real and necessary. Every time you teach separation, you experience yourself as more separate. This is why the ego loves to teach. It teaches constantly, relentlessly, through every judgment you make, every grievance you hold, every moment of defensiveness you experience. When you snap at someone in traffic, you're teaching that anger is a justified response to frustration, and you're learning that lesson right along with everyone who witnesses it. When you gossip about a coworker, you're teaching that people are worthy of judgment, and you're reinforcing in your own mind that you too deserve to be judged. But here's what makes this so insidious. Most of your teaching is completely unconscious. You don't wake up in the morning and think, today I'm going to teach fear and separation. No, you just react, respond, live your habitual patterns completely, unaware that every moment is a demonstration of what you believe is true. Your life is your curriculum. Your relationships are your classroom. Every person you encounter is both your student and your teacher. And what you teach them, you are teaching yourself. There is no exception to this. None. Now, let's get really practical here. When your child asks you a question and you respond with patience and presence, what are you teaching? You're teaching that they are worthy of attention, that their curiosity matters, that love responds with kindness. And in that moment, you are learning the same lesson. You are experiencing yourself as patient, present, and loving. But when you respond with irritation, with distraction, with impatience, what are you teaching then? You're teaching that they're an interruption, that your peace depends on not being bothered, that love is conditional. And you're learning that lesson too. You're reinforcing in your own mind that you're someone who gets irritated, someone whose peace is fragile, someone who can't handle the demands of relationship. Do you see how this works? You are always teaching, and you are always learning what you teach. This is the law of mind. This is how consciousness works. You cannot escape it. Here's the choice you have in every single moment. You can teach what the ego wants you to teach, or you can teach what the Holy Spirit would have you teach. You can teach fear, or you can teach love. You can teach separation, or you can teach joining. You can teach attack, or you can teach peace. The ego's teaching always reinforces the belief that you are separate, vulnerable, small, and under threat. It teaches through judgment, comparison, defense, and attack. And every time you allow the ego to teach through you, you strengthen its thought system in your mind. You make the illusion more real. You trap yourself more deeply in the nightmare. But the Holy Spirit's teaching always reminds everyone of their true identity. It teaches through extension, joining, forgiveness, and love. And every time you allow the Holy Spirit to teach through you, you strengthen truth in your mind. You make love more real. You wake yourself up from the dream. You are always teaching, brother. Every moment, every interaction, every thought. The only question is, what will you teach today? Now we come to one of the most revolutionary ideas in the entire course. And brother, if you really understand this, it will transform not just how you see teaching, but how you see your entire purpose for being here. Teaching is healing. Not teaching leads to healing. Not teaching helps healing. Teaching is healing. They are the same thing. Let me break this down for you because this is profound. When you teach truth, healing happens automatically. Not because truth has some magical power to fix broken bodies or repair damaged circumstances, but because truth corrects the mind, and all sickness originates in the mind. All pain, all suffering, all disease, all conflict starts with a thought that says, I am separate from God, separate from my brother, separate from love. That thought is the sickness. And teaching truth heals that thought. Here's what this means practically. Every time you teach love, you heal the belief in attack. Every time you teach peace, you heal the belief in conflict. Every time you teach joining, you heal the belief in separation. You're not just making someone feel better temporarily. You're actually correcting the fundamental error in the mind that creates all suffering. But here's the part that most people miss. The part that makes this so incredibly powerful. You cannot teach what you don't have. You cannot give what you don't possess. This isn't a moral statement. This is just how reality works. If you want to teach peace, you must first have peace. If you want to teach love, you must first be in a state of love. If you want to teach healing, you must first accept healing for yourself. This is why teaching is healing for the teacher as much as for the student. Actually, it's healing for the teacher first. Because in order to teach truth, you must first align yourself with truth. You must first allow the Holy Spirit to heal your mind so that His teaching can flow through you. You become the first beneficiary of the lesson you're teaching. Think about the last time you tried to comfort someone while you were anxious yourself. It didn't work, did it? Your words might have been right, but something was missing. That's because you were trying to teach peace while experiencing fear. You were trying to give what you didn't have, and the other person felt it. They felt the disconnect between your words and your state of mind. But now think about a time when you were genuinely at peace, and someone came to you with their problems. You didn't even have to say much, did you? Your presence alone was healing. Your peace was contagious. Your certainty in the midst of their chaos became an anchor for them. That's because you were teaching from demonstration, not from concepts. You were giving what you had. This is what the Course means when it says you teach what you are. Your state of mind is your teaching. Your experience is your curriculum. You demonstrate what you believe, and that demonstration is what teaches, what heals, what transforms. The ego teaches through words divorced from experience. It says, do as I say, not as I do. It preaches forgiveness while holding grievances. It talks about love while practicing attack. And that teaching doesn't heal anyone because it's not real teaching. It's just noise, just concepts floating around with no power to transform. But the Holy Spirit teaches through demonstration. He asks you to be what you want to teach. He asks you to experience the truth first, and then let that experience extend naturally to others. When you're at peace, you don't have to try to teach peace. You just do. When you're experiencing love, you don't have to force yourself to be loving. It flows naturally from what you are. This is why healing requires joining, not separation. You cannot heal someone from a distance, looking down at them as if they're broken. and you're whole. That's the ego's version of healing, and it doesn't work because it reinforces separation. Real healing happens when you join with your brother, when you see him as yourself, when you recognize that his pain is your pain and his healing is your healing. When you teach from this place of joining, something miraculous happens. The separation dissolves. The boundary between teacher and student disappears. You're not giving something to someone else anymore. You're recognizing the truth that was always there for both of you. You're remembering together. You're healing together. This is why you can never lose what you give. The ego's teaching operates on scarcity. If I give something to you, I have less. But the Holy Spirit's teaching operates on abundance. What I give to you, I keep. When I teach you peace, I experience peace. When I teach you love, I am strengthened in love. When I teach you truth, truth becomes more real in my own mind. So here's the invitation, brother. Stop trying to heal people. Stop trying to fix them, change them, save them. Instead, be healed yourself. Accept the Holy Spirit's healing for your own mind. Experience truth, peace, and love. And then, simply let that experience extend naturally to everyone you meet. That's teaching. That's healing. And they are one. So you understand that you're always teaching. You understand that teaching is healing. Now comes the beautiful part. The part where this all becomes personal and immediate. You can choose to become a conscious teacher of God. You can choose to let the Holy Spirit teach through you instead of the ego. And brother, this choice is available to you right now, in this very moment. Let's be clear about what it means to be a teacher of God. It doesn't mean you wear robes, sit on a mountaintop, or speak in mystical language. It doesn't mean you quit your job and start a spiritual center. It doesn't mean you become perfect, enlightened, or beyond all human struggles. A teacher of God is simply someone who has made the decision to teach love instead of fear, truth instead of illusion, peace instead of conflict. That's it. That's the whole definition. You become a teacher of God the moment you choose the Holy Spirit as your guide and allow Him to teach through you. It's not about your credentials. It's not about your spiritual resume. It's about your willingness to be used for healing instead of attack. Here's what shifts when you make this choice. You stop teaching from the ego's curriculum and start teaching from the Holy Spirit's curriculum. The ego's curriculum is complex, contradictory, and ultimately teaches nothing but fear. It teaches that some people deserve love and others deserve attack. It teaches that peace comes from controlling your circumstances. It teaches that you're separate, small, and constantly under threat. But the Holy Spirit's curriculum is simple, consistent, and teaches only love. It has one lesson, taught in infinite forms. You are not separate. You are not a body. You are not guilty. You are loved, you are safe, and you are home in God. Every situation, every relationship, every challenge is just another opportunity to learn and teach this one lesson. When you teach as the Holy Spirit teaches, you stop trying to change people. You stop trying to convince them, fix them, or make them see things your way. Instead, you simply demonstrate what peace looks like. You show them what love does. You become a living example of the truth you're teaching. Let me give you a practical example. Someone attacks you, criticizes you, tries to provoke you. The ego immediately wants to teach through you. It wants to demonstrate that attack is real, that defense is necessary, that this person is your enemy. And if you let the ego teach in that moment, both of you learn fear. Both of you experience separation. Both of you suffer. But if you choose to let the Holy Spirit teach instead, everything changes. You don't react. You don't defend. You don't attack back. Instead, you respond with peace. Not fake peace. Not suppressed anger disguised as spirituality. Real peace that comes from knowing this attack can't touch the truth of who you are. And in that moment, you teach something powerful. Attack is not real. Only love is real. And that teaching heals both of you. This is what it means to teach peace in daily life. It's not about grand gestures or dramatic moments. It's about the small choices, the ordinary interactions, the mundane situations where you choose to demonstrate love instead of fear. It's choosing patience in traffic. It's choosing kindness with the difficult coworker. It's choosing peace when your buttons are being pushed. Every single day, you have hundreds of opportunities to teach as the Holy Spirit teaches. Every encounter is a classroom. Every person is waiting to learn what you will demonstrate. Will you teach them that the world is dangerous and people are threats? Or will you teach them that love is always the answer and peace is always possible? Here's the beautiful thing about becoming a teacher of God. You don't have to wait until you're perfect. You don't have to wait until you've mastered every lesson. You just have to be willing to try, to choose differently, to let the Holy Spirit guide your responses instead of letting the ego control them. And every time you do this, even imperfectly, healing happens. You will make mistakes. You will forget and let the ego teach. You will react with fear when you meant to choose love. That's okay. That's part of the learning process. The Holy Spirit doesn't expect perfection. He just asks for your willingness, your openness, your commitment to keep choosing love even when you fail. And here's something powerful. When you teach only love, you discover that love is all there is. When you teach peace consistently, you experience peace as your natural state. When you teach truth, truth becomes your reality. You don't just teach these things to others. You establish them in your own mind. You make them real for yourself. This is why teaching what you want to learn is the fastest path to learning it. Want to experience peace? Teach peace. Want to know love? Teach love. Want to remember your true identity? Teach others who they really are. The teaching reinforces the truth in your mind until it becomes unshakable. So here's your invitation, brother. Decide today to become a teacher of God, not tomorrow, not when you feel more ready. Today, right now. In the next interaction you have, choose to let the Holy Spirit teach through you. Choose to demonstrate love instead of fear. Choose to teach peace instead of conflict. You are already a teacher. You've always been teaching. Now it's time to teach consciously, purposefully, powerfully. It's time to teach only love. Are you ready? And there it is, brother. The truth that's been hiding in plain sight your entire life. You are a teacher. You've always been a teacher. And now you have the opportunity to become a conscious teacher of God. Someone who teaches only love, only truth, only peace. Think about what we've discovered together today. You're teaching every single moment, whether you realize it or not. Teaching and healing are the same thing, inseparable, unified in their purpose. And you have the power right now to choose what you'll teach, to choose who will teach through you, the ego or the Holy Spirit. This isn't theoretical knowledge. This isn't something to file away for later. This is immediate, practical, life-changing truth that you can apply right now in the very next conversation you have, in the very next challenge you face. You can choose to be a teacher of God. You can choose to let healing flow through you to everyone you meet. And here's the beautiful promise. When you teach love, you experience love. When you teach peace, you know peace. When you teach truth, truth becomes your reality. You become what you teach. You embody what you give. And in that giving, you receive everything. So right now, in this moment, make the choice. Decide that from this point forward, you will be conscious of what you're teaching. Decide that you will allow the Holy Spirit to teach through you instead of the ego. Decide that every encounter will be an opportunity to demonstrate love, to extend peace, to heal through teaching truth. You don't have to do this perfectly. You just have to be willing. The Holy Spirit will do the rest. He'll guide your words, inspire your actions, and transform every interaction into a holy encounter where healing happens. Remember, brother, you're not alone in this. Every teacher of God is part of the same curriculum, teaching the same lesson in their own unique way. We're all learning together, healing together, waking up together. And every time you choose to teach love, you strengthen every other teacher of God in their commitment to truth. Now, if this message touched your heart, if you feel that shift happening inside you, that recognition that yes, you are a teacher and you want to teach consciously. I'd be so grateful if you'd like this video. Your like tells me this message is resonating, and it helps this teaching reach more people who are ready to become conscious teachers of love. And please, if you haven't already, subscribe to this channel and turn on your notifications. We're walking through A Course in Miracles together, uncovering these transformative truths that have the power to change not just your life, but the lives of everyone you touch. This is a daily journey, and every video builds on what we've learned before. Share this video with someone who needs to hear this. Share it with someone who's struggling to find their purpose, who's wondering what they're here for, who doesn't realize they're already teaching and just needs to become conscious of what they're demonstrating. Sometimes the most powerful thing we can do is help someone recognize they're already a teacher. And please, leave a comment below. Tell me about a time when you taught love without even realizing it. Tell me about a moment when someone's demonstration of peace healed you. Tell me what you're committing to teach from this point forward. Your comments inspire this community and remind all of us that we're in this together. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your willingness to learn, to grow, to become a conscious teacher of God. Thank you for choosing to let the Holy Spirit teach through you. The world needs teachers like you. Teachers who demonstrate that love is real, that peace is possible, that healing happens when we choose truth over illusion. Every person you meet today is waiting for the lesson you'll teach. Every situation is a classroom. Every moment is an opportunity to heal through teaching love. Go now and teach well, brother. Teach only love. Teach only peace. Teach only truth. And watch as the healing you give becomes the healing you receive. Until tomorrow, may you recognize yourself as the teacher of God you've always been. See you in the next video.